Hello, and welcome to another edition of Real Talk of Colorado with your host, Watik. Today we have a very special guest. We have a good friend of mine, a brother. We've been knowing each other for a long time, and I think it's good for us to really, interview him and get some insight of his career and the things he's done in his life. So please welcome to the show today, my brother Kingdom. How's it going, Kingdom?
All right, what's going on, Watik?
Hey, there, brother. How's it going with you?
Good. How you doing?
Well, real quick, can you let the viewers know who you are? If you're native of Colorado and where you're from, if you're not.
Y'all know me. Next question. No, I was playing. I'm Kingdom. Been in the entertainment industry out here since 1991. That was the year. That's where it all changed.
Well, I didn't ask you that. I asked you where you came from.
You see what I came from?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
He's getting smart already.
Okay.
This guy. But came from Los Angeles, moved here in '87 with my parents. So went to Thomas Jefferson High School, home of the Dookie Brown and Gold all day.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I went to college up at UNC for a year and a half.
All right. Do you have any siblings?
You want to cut me off? Do I have any siblings? No.
Yes.
You're about the only sibling I have.
Okay. So you're more like a spoiled child. I can figure that out. Knowing you for the years, I know that's true. So you said you came from California?
No, not spoiled. I just work for what I want. That's all. Next question.
So you came from California, and you guys came to Colorado. So you have both your parents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when y'all came to Colorado, you said you attended, what school was that again?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson
High School.
Okay. So give us a little insight on when you started, what brought you into the entertainment business and what were you doing when you came in?
Here's where it started. It started back when I was in 9th grade. I used to beatbox. I used to beatbox when I was in junior high school in California. And then when I got to high school, I was beatboxing. Then when I moved to Colorado, I just started freestyling. For those who don't know, that freestyling is when you just rap off the top of your head. And we used to, remember the little recorders that you could put a tape in and then put another tape with a microphone? Right. You could play the music and then you can record yourself.
Right, yeah.
And that's what I used to do in the bathroom at my house. And I used to just freestyle. And then I noticed that when I was in high school, I was just freestyling to myself. Freestyling, and then I got better at it. And then I got up to college up at UNC for a year and a half, and we had talent shows, and I started freestyling and things like that. So I had a person who was like my brother named Shaka. He killed himself. After he killed himself, I just lost all interest in school. And then I came back down here to Denver because the grades that semester, my father was like, I hope you don't think you're going back up to Greeley.
Right.
So I went and packed my stuff, came back down, and then I wanted to get in radio. And then there was a radio station called KDKO, Dr. Daddy-O, which is the old Jizzle of Denver. Somebody was telling me that he had an internship, so he went over there for an internship, and I talked to him about it. He said, well, let me hear your voice. And I was only like 18, about to be 19. So I heard his voice. He heard my voice, and he was like, well, I'm not going to give you an internship. I'm just going to throw you on the radio. So I was 18 years old, already on the radio, So that's where the entertainment started.
Okay. Well, how many years have you been rapping?
I've been rapping on the scene of Colorado. I did it from 1991 to about 2006.
Okay. So, and that's a long time. And so this is what I want to get into it, because I know that your career didn't get to where you wanted to get, and I know you've done a lot. So give us an experience of some of the positive things that you've seen or had the opportunity to experience in your rapping career.
There's a lot of positives. There's a lot of positives. Beginning one, those who don't know The Source magazine, when The Source was in their heyday, The Source used to have a TV show called The Source Sound Lab, and it was like the hip hop Soul Train, and it used to come on. It used to come on in Denver Saturday nights, and you had to submit your tape. And out of like 22,000, I was voted like number 20. I was voted top 20 battle MC in the country, and I was on that show. Unfortunately, my episode never got aired. But that's not a positive effect of why it never got aired.
Right.
We know that.
We know that.
We know why it didn't get aired. But I've been in every major hip hop magazine during that time. Rap Pages, you know, Double XL. I was in The Source, things like that. And this coming from Colorado, which they didn't believe there was any black people in Colorado. I'm Westward Newspaper's only 3-time music award winner, hip hop, for best MC. I've won actually 7 Westward Music Awards, 3 for being best MC of the year, and then 1 for being best battle rapper of the year, and then a couple for radio, and we had best radio show.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: in today's time, you know, all the entertainers, they have, you know, Facebook, Twitter, all these media, social avenues to get their music, and they got videos. They get you know, back in the day, you didn't have videos.
Well, everybody's making videos like you make a
let me give a question now.
Water.
Right, yeah, true. But what I'm saying is, what is the difference back then, and how hard was it to try to break into the music industry versus like everybody now? They could just throw a YouTube picture up and like Soulja Boy, throw YouTube up, get online, and he became an overnight sensation. But back then, you guys didn't have opportunity to have videos and all that good stuff, so it was really tough.
We didn't have social media back then. We didn't have any of that. We had to basically jump on planes and jump in cars to go get seen. We had to go to these different. Conventions. You know, like you look at like South by Southwest in Austin. It's the hugest thing of the year now. You know, now you could barely get a local independent artist on that ticket. And back then it was all about independent artists. And we was one of the first ones from Colorado to be on those tickets in Austin. And now you got Kanye, Eminem, everybody and their mamas there. Back when we was doing it, you couldn't get none of them there. You know, but what our thing is what separates us is that I'm not gonna say we work harder, but it seems like we did. It seems like we worked way harder. I mean, you know the things that me and you went through when we used to get on those planes every weekend. When I was recording my first album, I had to work a 9 to 5 because I had a child on the way. I always had a 9 to 5 to keep insurance. And then on Fridays, I would get on that plane, go to California until Sunday, and then come back Sunday night and do it all again. We did that for like 7, 8 months straight. And it was either California or New York. Half my clothes was here and half my clothes was there. We grinded. We didn't have we could just pop up our mixtape on the internet. We didn't even have mixtapes back then. You know, for us to get seen on a mixtape was monumental. Now anybody and their mama can make a mixtape. We didn't even make our own mixtapes back then. We had to get on famous DJs mixtapes. Like I was on Sir Jinx mixtape. I don't know I was so lucky to get that. You know, and Sir Jinx was responsible for a lot of Ice Cube stuff, a lot of Cool G Rap and Polo stuff back in the day, and things like that. Matter of fact, he was just on a documentary about the LA riots. And I was on his mixtape, and I was the only one from Colorado on the mixtape of that statute at the time. You know, so we had to go out there and get our face seen. We had to go out there and solicit ourselves. And you know how we used to go to California, and we used to go up to Priority Records where Ice Cube and them was at. And
do you want to tell them about that little excursion to Canada?
Well, I mean, that would take a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if it...
That's not the bright side of
it
things.
wasn't. It's a bright side.
You need to make things happen.
We had to do some things that we weren't proud of. I mean, you know, if you really want to tell it, we could tell a little bit of it. To put it in a nutshell.
Share with the viewers.
In a nutshell,
how hard it is.
We were picked to be on a big showcase in Canada in front of thousands of people, and we had to get our own way up there. So we were working. We had kids. We didn't have the money, so we had to hook up to get fake IDs made. Right? So we had fake IDs made under someone that worked for the airline. So we had to map it out to where we could get to the border and get across the border. So we had these fake IDs under these names, but we had our real IDs in our socks, just in case anything happened. So we get all the way to New York. We flew all the way to New York under these assumed names. Then we get to the border, and they say, well, what is your business here? And my dumb self, except for saying we're here to visit someone, I'm saying we have a rap show. If you have a rap show, you're getting paid. So you're getting paid, so they took us into the office. The Border Patrol was like, okay, we got to take you to the office. So, and I've never seen this dude scared at all in his life. And I looked at him, and he looked at me and was like,
I said we going to jail.
We going to jail.
We were in Canada under fake names, flying on the airline, and I'm looking at this guy. So I tell, while we're getting interviewed by the people, because they wanted our names, and we gave them the names that we had on the plane. So they said, well, we're going to check the manifest.
Manifest.
And I'm like, if you check the manifest, because see, by this time we gave them our real stuff.
Fed time.
So our name wouldn't have been on the manifest. So it was real crazy. I said, man, I got to go to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom. Keenan was starting to cry. He was scared.
I wasn't crying. Don't lie and say I cried.
We go to jail.
Don't lie.
I said, dude, we going to jail. I said, well, listen what we're going to do.
I was concerned, though.
Right.
I said, big bro, we going to jail.
I said, we're going to have to run. I said, man, I'm going to run.
How you going to run and we at the border?
I'm just going to try to get out. I said, man, if anything, I'm going to run. And if we get out, we have to just be citizens of Canada. We didn't think we was going to be able to come back. So we got in, and it was great that we were in. We had a great time.
What happened was the guy who was throwing the show
showed up.
And he told the border people, look, I got to get these guys to the hotel and get them checked in. You know,
but we had to pay for them visas, remember?
And he said, we'll pay for the work release visas, whatever. And the dude was like, okay, go ahead. And then me and him got in the car, and we got in the car, and we was like, oh, man.
But long story short, though, because it was going on day, we did the show, then we had to go back to the airport and still do the thing in reverse to get out of Canada to come back to the United States. But we made it. And I vowed at that time that I would never in my life do nothing like that to that magnitude. Because right after that, soon after that, not too, years later, 911 happened. And then they made it real difficult to try to do something of that magnitude. So people out there, those are things that happened with us back in the day. It was fun things. We did what we did, and it was great. But I would not advise doing any of that stuff.
We can write a book. We can write a book just of the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you had since '95.
So this is the thing. Let's change gears real quick because you started doing radio. Kind of give us a little insight on how that started and how you got to be a part of and you could say the radio station as well.
Well, when I was in college, they had they started having a radio show, and we were playing around on it, and then that's when I came back here, and then they were like, well, Dr. Daddy over at KDKO is looking for an intern, and then when I went over there and I did a tape for Dr. Daddy in the studio, he was like, well, I want you on the radio now. I don't want to do a tape. So I did radio for him for a year. And I decided to leave there and pursue the rap and then just blew all out Kingdom. And then I did that. And then in 2001, Francois, who's, he's I have to give him a lot of credit for me being who I am today, the stuff he's done. But Francois was like, you funny, me and you should do a radio show. And I was like, forget it. We doing other kind of stuff, so what, let's do it. So we went to my man Ricky O. He was doing like an internet. He used to come down there and practice. And Ricky O's an OG out here too when it comes to radio DJing. So we were down there and we were practicing the show. He was like, we're gonna need a DJ for our show. And I was like, well, I don't know what DJ, because all the DJs were big. Jam X, Mixmaster Mike, God rest his dead, he was still around and was doing his thing. I was like, we can't get Big Mike, we can't get none of them because they doing so many clubs. I was like, let's get the homeboy Chones to help us with the radio show. So we called Chones, and Chones was like, I'm down with it. I'll do the mixes, whatever like that. And Chones was still doing he was doing a internship with Loud Records in California also. So Francois was like, I have a hookup with Cat Collins over at KS175. He said, I'm gonna shoot the idea to him about us doing a show. So it was like a mixtape show. So we was like, okay, shoot it to him. So Francois comes back and was like, after Summer Jam, Cat Collins said that he wants to look at us doing a show. I was like, wow, well, us be on KS175? Because KS175 is the biggest.
Right.
Nobody's messing with KS175.
Right.
Period. So we got on there, and he said, let's try it. I mean, he gave us the Dookie hours. Sunday night, 11 to 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But, we will take what we can get.
Right.
Because, nobody else could come in there. No other local could come into a major radio station and get a show where you get to play whatever you want to, and you get to play locals. And that's how the mixtape show was born. And, we stayed around. We stayed around for about 7 years.
So what about that? Tell them about the outtake of when you try to get me in on radio. Remember that?
I remember you complaining that you wasn't on the show.
Right. So how'd you get me in? What did you do?
What did we do? I brought you in as doing the weather. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to look out for fam. He was talking mess.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We used to have him do the weather. I don't know how you doing the weather on Sunday night at 11 p.m. But he did the weather.
Yeah, he had me come in and record. And the thing that was crazy about it, I had to come in and record my segment of it and then they would play it like during the show. Myself was never live. So I used to get upset because I was like, here in radio, I'm trying to get a break in entertainment, and what they give me is weather. I was like, well, that ain't gonna be done. So I took the weather thing and did it for a little run. But and it was fun. I mean, everything that we did, man. I would definitely do it again if we had the opportunity. Everything we had some great times. But I know the viewers would like to know one big thing too, Kingdom. How did you get the name Kingdom? Where'd that come from?
Well, when I was at UNC, I used to work at Honey Baked Ham. I used to come back and work at Honey Baked Ham during the Christmas season. And I was in there cleaning hams, and the radio was playing, and I started freestyling in front of everybody just over the radio. And then this one dude, he was a gangster dude, standing next to me named Marvin. He was like, man, you sound good. He's like, I got a producer I want you to meet. You ever did any songs? I was like, nah. He's like, I got this producer I want you to meet. He said, we'll go after work. So I said, okay. So I jumped in the car with me, and we was driving over there, and he was like, and this was back in 1990. He was like, well, what's your name? And I said, well, I used to go by DJ Dweller, because everybody had a DJ name on it.
Dweller.
DJ Dweller, you know what I'm saying? It was whack. But
it was really whack.
Yeah, okay.
Dweller.
But anyway, so he was like, he was just, he was like, I was like, but I like Little Nation. Little Nation was a gangster rapper out of California because he was a big dude down with CPO, Crime Punishment Organization, which ended up being with Death Row for a minute. And I was like, I like CPO though. I like Little Nation. That was a dope name. So he looked at me and was like, it was like slow motion like out of a movie. He said, Kingdom. And I said, yeah. And we got to the producer's house, and he was like, what's your name? I was like, they call me Kingdom. And then ever since then, I was Kingdom. And that's how I knew Marvin. Like, I would go somewhere on the streets, and somebody would be like, a dude named Marvin give you your name? And I'd be like, yep, he sure did. Because he'd be working at the King Super somewhere around the city. Because every year, somebody come to me and be like, did Marvin give you your name? Because he said he gave your name. I'd be like, yep, Marvin gave me my name.
Kingdom, okay.
And that's where it came from.
Well, so what are you doing nowadays? Are you still doing radio? Are you still rapping? What's the situation?
I'm chilling. I'm back in school. I've done entertainment. I did it for 21 years, solidly. I mean, no break. I did 21 years. So now I'm back in school finishing up my college degree, you know what I'm saying, and concentrating on getting the weight off. So those are my two concentrations. What I'm doing now is I'm advising and working with my nephew.
Who's that?
The next great thing. I always help people out. They ask me for this, they ask me for that. But I never, because I was doing my own thing, it was hard for me. I can't get behind him because I had my own thing going on.
Right.
But I will be getting behind my nephew, L. Keys.
Okay.
He's the truth, you know what I'm saying? All he needed was a little guidance from me. Yeah.
I'm his daddy, so I don't know.
That's L. Keys' dad. But Uncle had to come in. That's how L. Keys got his suave, got his swag from me. Okay. When I was on the stage with Busta Rhymes and Nas, he was a 10-year-old up there with me. When I had my release party in front of thousands of people, he was up there with me holding my championship belt. You remember that?
No, I don't recall.
Yeah, you remember that. When I was on tour up in the mountains with De La Soul and them, the nephew came with me. You know what I'm saying? So he learned all that from me. You know what I'm saying? From me. Even though he looks like you.
Okay, so thank you for coming on our show today.
Why we got to be like that?
Is there last words that you want to say to the viewers out there? Any aspiring artists, entertainers, anything of that nature that you would like to leave them some parting words with?
Stop being lazy. When you're doing your music, if you can't pop your CD in and you can't pop another famous artist CD in, and if it's not comparable and it doesn't sound remotely the same, you might not get that certain sound because you don't have that budget. But if it's not banging with theirs, then take yours out and go back and redo it. I used to listen to my CDs on about 3 or 4 or 5 different kind of devices to make sure our sound was where it was at. When it was 3 the Hard Way, me, you, Tyrone, Kevin Cardona, we made sure our stuff was sound quality. You go back and listen to them 2 albums, you can stick them CDs in with any artist back then and still get that same quality because we didn't put out no junk. That's one thing I always had pride in was my music. That's why I only did 2 albums. Some of these artists, there's no knock against them. Some of these artists are still doing music. Some of these artists don't know when to let it go, but I knew when to let it go. You know what I'm saying? I did 2 albums, and if I felt that I couldn't bring the same quality I got out And because I'm a hustler, I put myself in another lane. That's the reason why you forgot I worked for the Denver Nuggets too for 6 years. I was the first NBA hype man. Excuse me.
Okay, I'm gonna leave.
But I was the first NBA hype man
with
the Denver Nuggets. I did that from 2001 actually 2000 to 2005. Right
Was
after
you a
All-Star
mascot?
break. No, I wasn't no mascot. I was the first NBA hype man. So I used to get the crowd hype, give away the prizes and stuff like that.
But they had
you knew that because you used to ask for tickets.
They had you win
so
some
you
funny
used to ask
stuff.
for tickets. You used to ask for tickets. So and I got paid. Now, what other brother you know that can get on the floor in front of 20,000 people in Colorado every home game and make money at it? My name wasn't Carmelo, but my name was Kingdom. Anyway, see, we gotta act like this for my brother, because my brother, he get all.
I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? No, yeah. He get all. He trying to call me out.
No, I'm not trying to
You
call
know
you
what I'm saying? He
out.
trying to call me out. Was you a mascot?
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, that's what I heard.
But when I did, yeah, okay. But he didn't say that when he was there. He was saying that when he was there. Hey, that's my brother. That's my brother. That's my brother.
And I'm supposed to get that. I'm
Yeah,
supposed
exactly.
to get all
See,
that in there. I'm supposed to get all that. That's the props that came along with everything that was going on.
To the artists, stop being lazy. A lot of artists are lazy today. They just depend on internet. And I heard that you're paying for these shows. I heard that you're paying to be on an opener on the show. Have more pride in yourself than to pay to be on somebody's opener. I don't care if the promoter gets mad at me or whatever. You ain't gonna say nothing to me. But you paying, plain and simple. I've never paid to be on the show. Never. To me, that is belittling yourself when you do that. You're trying to, if you're not good enough to where somebody comes to you and say, I want you to open up this show for me. Somebody say, I want you to pay me $100 so you can display yourself, then you don't need to be doing it. You don't need to be rapping, or you need to find another avenue. There's no way in life I would ever pay to open up a show. Would nobody ever even come to me and ask me to pay to open up no show? You know what I'm saying? So have more respect for yourself. Either create your own show or something like that. If you want a famous artist, don't sit around and wait for these famous artists to come around. Make a buzz for yourself. Make sure your music's good enough to where I had a release party, I threw it for free. The place only held 500. We had 5,000 people show up. You know what I'm saying? We created the market. We created our own market. Don't sit back and wait for these promoters to create your own. Go out there, create your own market, create your own buzz, get your van wrapped, things like that. A lot of people creating their own lanes. And I see these behind videos too that's out there too. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a camera don't mean you get a video done, man. I never did a video because if it wasn't done quality, I wasn't gonna do it. And so right now, can't nobody ever say, Kingdom did this whack, Kingdom did that was whack, that was horrible, Kingdom did this and that. Because whatever I did, I took pride in and I did it to the fullest. I didn't have behind it just to get it out there. And that's what a lot of artists do today.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on today, bro. I'm glad you took some time out of your schedule. I know you back in school trying to get that. So, best of wishes on that. I want you to go ahead and finish, get your degree, and also, like I said, you're working on trying to slim it up a little bit. The best
75
of luck.
pounds gone.
Best of luck. Keep it going, man. You know I'm here. I got your back, whatever you need. So, hey, today's been another great show with your man Watik, my show, and I thought I'd bring somebody else in to give him a little shine today. My little brother, my other little brother. I'm the main man because this is my show, and I want him to get off it right now. So thanks for tuning in on Real Talk of Colorado.
I gotta give a shout out to.
And we catch you.
Shout out to my kids.
We don't do shout outs on the show. We don't do shout outs on it.
Shout out to my kids.
Shout out to those kids. Okay, thank you.
Keela,
Thanks for talking
Trinity,
to Real Talk of
Trajan,
Colorado.
and Naya.
Your host, Watik. My man,
Nobody else
Earl
matters.
Kingdom. Thanks for being on the show today, bro. We love you.
I don't, bro.
All right, man.